Well, welcome to the Unstoppable Freedom Podcast. I'm Jimmy Page. This is the format called Freedom for the Win, the top 3 wins for individual liberty and American values. Each Freedom for the Win segment does 3 things. Number 1, it gives us some good news in an ocean of negativity. Number 2, it helps us celebrate the wins. And number 3, it gives us hope that we can save America from the leftist mob. So here we go. Here are the top 3 freedom wins for the week of 3/27/23. Win number 1. Coach Joe Kennedy, who lost his job at Bremerton High School in Washington State for praying after games, has been reinstated at his school and received a $1.7 million settlement. Respect for religious expressions is indispensable to life in a free and diverse republic, said Justice Neil Gorsuch, who wrote the majority opinion. He goes on to say, here, a government entity sought to punish an individual for engaging in a personal religious observance based on a mistaken view that it has a duty to suppress religious observances, even as it allows comparable secular speech. The Constitution neither mandates nor tolerates that kind of discrimination. Wow. This is a big win for religious freedom, protected, of course, by the First Amendment. Now, of course, we all know that our rights are given by God, not government. And government's role, one of its primary roles, is simply to protect those individual rights, like religious freedom, like freedom of speech, and on and on. The great news here is this. You don't have to check your private religious faith or beliefs when you enter the public arena. You are who you are. Your beliefs come with you. All right, win number 2. Missouri issues emergency rule restricting inhumane science experiments on children. Well, this is also really good news. The Missouri Attorney General, Andrew Bailey, on Tuesday issued an emergency regulation on gender transition treatments to protect children from what he calls inhumane science experiments. Gender transition interventions are covered by existing Missouri law governing unfair, deceptive, and unconscionable business practices, including the administration of healthcare services, according to the Missouri Attorney General's office. Well, this new Missouri regulation will require specific informed consent disclosures, informing patients that the use of puberty-blocking drugs or cross-sex hormones to treat gender identity disorder or gender dysphoria is experimental and not approved by the U.S. FDA. In fact, the FDA issued a warning last summer that puberty blockers can lead to brain swelling and blindness. This regulation also prohibits gender transition interventions when the provider fails to ensure that the patient has received a full psychological or psychiatric assessment consisting of at least 15 separate hourly sessions over the course of at least 18 months. The Missouri regulation also is supposed to ensure that any existing mental health comorbidities for a patient have been treated and resolved. This is a huge win to protect children from permanent bodily mutilation and exploitation. Requiring 15 separate hourly sessions over the course of at least 18 months ensures that no one is rushing to take permanent action, which will have permanent consequences. This is a big win to protect children. Okay, number 3, win number 3, a win for women. World Athletics bans transgender athletes from female events. Okay, this is a huge controversy in the world of sports today. But World Athletics, the international governing body for track and field, has officially banned transgender athletes from competing in all women's events. This decision overturns an initial proposal filed in January that would allow biological men to compete against women if they recorded a low testosterone level. Quote, the World Athletics Council today has taken decisive action to protect the female category in our sport, said the WA president Sebastian Coe. This is a win for women. The physiological advantage for biological men competing against biological women is proven and undisputed. current testosterone levels are absolutely irrelevant. If you have a daughter or a loved one who is currently being forced to compete against biological males, use this decision to communicate to your schools, your coaches, or associations to end this unfair and in many cases dangerous practice. But another big win. Okay, hey, bonus material now. Win number 4. 2 more Christian NHL hockey players who happen to be brothers refused to participate in the LGBTQ Pride events for their team, the Florida Panthers, citing their religious beliefs. And even better, the NHL now is considering ending Pride events entirely. They're too divisive. This is a win for freedom over force. This is a key principle that we stand for. Freedom over force, individual liberties over mandates. No one should be forced to promote something or to participate in an event or activity that violates their deeply held religious beliefs, period. Let me say that again. No one should be forced to promote something or participate in an event or activity that violates their deeply held religious beliefs. This could have positive ramifications in protecting athletes and even students at all levels from being forced to participate in social activism as promoted in their schools or in competition. So there you go. Millions of Americans are waking up to the reality that if they want to preserve freedom in America, they have to take a courageous stand. And when we do this, when we work together for freedom, freedom wins. We all win, and we preserve the greatest nation in the world. I'm Jimmy Page, and this is the Unstoppable Freedom Podcast. For the win.